The title of this article very much reminds me of the Mad Max phrase, you know, you're brought down to one instinct, survive. And that seems to be what Yuki Tsunoda's kind of trying to get across here, because he's saying that his one aim in 2025 is to avoid the Red Bull axe, avoid being sacked from his Racing Bull seat, which is the very minimum you'd expect from a Red Bull driver. But of course, at the end of the day, he is in his 5th season coming up. He's the longest surviving Red Bull junior driver, as it were, at the junior team, RB, Alpha Tauri, Racing Bulls. They've been known as all that during his time there. So let's have a look at this, guys, because like I say, like I always say, the Red Bull meat grinder takes no prisoners at the end of the day, and Yuki Tsunoda, unfortunately, is not immune to the Red Bull axe. Let's have a look at what's been said here. Yuki Tsunoda says he wants to remain in the Red Bull family beyond the 2025 season. Despite his pace, a calmer demeanour, and 4 seasons of experience with the Faenza-based junior team, Red Bull still decided that it should be rookie Liam Lawson who should become Max's new teammate for 2025. In the dying days of 2024, Red Bull Racing team boss Christian Horner strongly hinted that 2025 could be the 24-year-old Japanese Tsunoda's last year with the energy drink-owned concern. You can't have a driver in the support team for 5 years, he said. You can't always be the bridesmaid. At that point, you either have to let him go or think of something else. Let him go could be a reference to swirling rumours that Tsunoda's backer Honda might want the Japanese driver at Aston Martin next year. However, an Aston Martin spokesman insists that both Fernando Alonso and Lance Stroll are firmly under contract for both 2025 and 2026. That could leave Tsunoda out of Formula 1 after this season. We'll see, Tsunoda said ahead of the new season. Like every season, it depends on my performance, but I would like to stay in the Red Bull family. Tsunoda even insists that he wasn't overly surprised or disappointed when Red Bull signed Lawson instead of him for this year. Last year's things I've already kind of parked and put out of my head, to be honest, he said. At the moment they officially announced it, I didn't actually feel super angry or disappointed. I've just got to stick to what I'm doing because there are things that I can't control. I'll just keep focused on myself and try to improve myself more. As for Horner's suggestion that 5 years with the junior team, this year called Racing Bulls, is too much, Tsunoda smiled. Maybe our team will change its name again next year, so it's a different team. Let's see. It depends on my performance. Obviously, I would like to stay with this Red Bull family. If it's Red Bull Racing, that's amazing. If not, then I'd still love to be in this part of the team. I feel a lot of support for them, which means a lot to me. Whatever happens, there can be an interesting option. I mean, I do see his point, Horner, about 5 years in a junior team is not ideal, but at the same time, who's going to replace him? There's not really anybody in the Red Bull family that's coming through that's ready now, I'd say. I mean, you've got the likes of Arvid Lindblad, I think Pepe Marti in Formula 2. They're Red Bull juniors, but are they ready for Formula 1? No, not yet. Maybe in a year or two's time. And then on the other hand as well, on top of that, you've also got Daniel Ricciardo, who did start last season for RB. And he's like in his mid-30s. I mean, yeah. It was his 2nd season back for that team, but been in the Red Bull program for like a decade before that, on and off, of course. So, yeah, I mean, age is just a number at the end of the day. And despite Racing Bulls being a 2nd team, they'll say they're not a 2nd team officially. They are their own enterprise, they are their own company, but they are the 2nd team of Red Bull. At the end of the day, they want to get results too. They want to get as good results as they can in Formula 1, and they will have the drivers that are there to be able to do that. They don't just have to be a junior thing. And at the end of the day as well, on top of that, Tsunoda is still young. He's like 25, 24. He's a young driver still, I'd say. Not by F1 standards today, of course, but the guy's coming up to over 100 Grand Prix and he's like 24 years old. So, you know, for me, Tsunoda absolutely deserves his place at that team. I'd love to see him go to Aston Martin. That Honda connection there. I'd love to see Lawrence Stroll just, you know, throw his son out of the team, basically make him the reserve driver and get Tsunoda in for 2026. Do I think that's going to happen? No, probably not, to be honest. I severely doubt it. And I think that's really sad, to be honest, because Tsunoda, then you've got a situation where Tsunoda might be out of Formula 1, potentially, and you know, you've got Lance Stroll in it, and I think that's wrong, to be honest, but that's just my take. But what's your take, guys? Let us know in the comments below. Where will Tsunoda be driving in 2026? For me, I think he'll do well this season. I think he'll beat Isaac Hadjar in the same car throughout the season. I think he'll maintain his place at the Racing Bulls. I don't really see another seat opening for him. Unless it's Aston Martin, which I doubt, I don't really see it happening. I don't see him going anywhere else, personally, other than out of the sport. But I doubt they'll do that, Red Bull. But your thoughts, guys. Let us know your thing. Like, share, comment, subscribe as always if you want to see more content just like this on the F1Chronicle.com, including news and opinions as always. And yeah, have a great week, guys. Have a great day. See you very soon.